Hey, you got your Grey Knights in my XCOM. Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Deamonhunters is a new turn-based strategy game coming out. It's available for pre-order right now, and we got a chance to sit down in a dev presentation of some of the gameplay, and we're going to go over that right now. Chaos Gate is a very old franchise. It actually started in the 90s, and this is the newest, latest iteration of it. It's in the same vein as other turn-based strategy games like XCOM, which you may be familiar with, and this one definitely shares a lot of the same genes. So if you are a fan of XCOM, you're going to really like this game. The comparisons to XCOM are very obvious, and it's hard not to talk about that game in conjunction with this game, but that's okay. This game took that idea, that concept, and really ran with it and made a lot of changes that actually make it different than XCOM. So it's cool if you like XCOM and you like Space Marines or Grey Knights in this case, you're really going to like this game. The core gameplay of the game is you are in control of a squad of Marines, in this case it's Grey Knights, and you're moving on a grid-based system with an action point economy system and slaughtering the enemies of the Emperor. Your Grey Knights are going to be battling the Bloom, which is a Nurgle infestation on this particular planet in this particular section of the galaxy. We saw a lot of Chaos Cultists, Plague Marines. There was even a Hellbrute in there too. So we're excited about what potential enemies this opens up. On top of these cool quality of life changes, there's also some really neat destructible environment action going on, as well as the brand new crit system, which is super cool and super unique to this franchise. There's also the really cool upgrade paths and stratagems that you get to unlock as you play the game. Also, when you're configuring your squad, you get to choose a stratagem. Now, these get unlocked through various gameplay and things like that. They are single-use abilities that you get to use during the course of the mission. And these are kind of a big deal because they can really turn the tide in your favor. I believe the one that we saw was like a big armor buff for multiple turns. And you want to use them very wisely and when you need them the most. So it's kind of that, is this the turn that I pop it, or do I need to wait one more round to see what happens next type of a deal with the stratagem. So it's a fun mechanical change of pace. Starting with your hub area, which is kind of your quest hub, which is your base, your strike cruiser. It's kind of reminiscent of the XCOM base building stuff. You do have to repair your strike cruiser as part of the campaign to get more move or more research points, etc. The gameplay itself has a lot of inspiration from XCOM. It's a square-based system with the movement, so you're moving around this grid between cover and everything like that. And speaking of movement, one of the things that we really liked about the gameplay that we saw was the amount of mobility and just the sheer awesomeness of moving across the map was with these Grey Knights. They were leaping over chasms and climbing up altars and just moving very rapidly through the terrain in a very like action-oriented, very aggressive manner. The game itself also rewards you for playing aggressive but not reckless. Kind of like in XCOM, when you were playing, you wanted to be very meticulous with your turns to make sure you set up the best chance of hitting the target and taking it out. And this one, it felt a lot more fluid and a lot more gung-ho, where you wanted to run in, be aggressive, smash your opponent, smash the enemies, and then get action points and just kind of keep that momentum rolling. From the gameplay that we saw too, we didn't really notice that there was a mischance when you're attacking a target, but it did influence how much damage you did overall. Everything's got like a bar above their head or shield icons representing armor. And the better your chance to hit was, the more damage you did. So some shots that were super long didn't do a ton of damage, but then some shots that were really up close, or even the melee attacks, for example, do a lot more damage. And again, that's kind of based on the loadouts and based on the weapons. Speaking of loadouts and weapons, this game does feature a class system for your different Grey Knights, which is super cool. And within that class system, there's a lot of customization, a lot of ways to change out your weapons and armor, equip different war gear, equip different relics. We even heard mention that there was going to be an option for wearing Terminator armor, but we didn't get to see it, so I'm excited to see what that actually looks like. The squad customization options in this game are pretty wild. You're going to have lots of ways to tweak the squad, the way it looks cosmetically. If you wanted to ever experiment with different paint schemes, banners, all that fun stuff, you wanted to work on the trim of your armor one color and then just something else, you can go nuts with the character customization. And you can also do that per Marine if you really, really want to dig into it and really make the squad your own. One of the awesome features that we were really blown away by in this game was the Destructible terrain features. In one instance, one of the Grey Knights chucked a grenade onto a bridge, and it took out like 3 Chaos Goons that were coming up from behind that had like just spawned in like an ambush. It was really cool to watch him do that. And then he got to set up an Overwatch afterwards, which was great. In another instance, one of the Marines used their bolters, their storm bolter, to fire at a statue, and it was really cool. The statue, you could kind of choose how the statue was going to fall, and then it fell on these Chaos Cultists or Chaos Goons again and sent them flying, which was really cool. So I'm excited to see what opportunities open up with the inclusion of the Destructible Terrain. So the crit system is one of the really cool things we liked about Chaos Gate Demonhunters. It's a unique thing within this game that allows you to do some cool effects. We got to see 2 instances of the crit system in action. The first one was a Grey Knight Marine running up on a Chaos Leader and getting a crit system, and getting a critical attack off. He used his attack to chop off the Chaos Leader's Vox stave, if you will. It was really cool. It wounded the Chaos Leader, but it also prevented the Chaos Leader from using his ability to buff the Chaos Cultist around him. So it's a cool way to target a specific thing. There's also an option to strike him to make him bleed, and another strike option to make him stunned. The Grey Knight then got to follow up with an execute attack, which was super rad. Cues up this cool animation and just finishes off the Chaos Leader with a really cool dynamic blow. So that was really neat. The second instance we got to see of the crit system was against a freaking Hellbrute. And this was really sweet. This Hellbrute had marched up and it had grappled with its tentacle arm one of the Grey Knights, and another Grey Knight had to run around to the side and then get a critical attack on the tentacle arm to release his friend, his battle brother. And that was just a really cool, really dynamic way that this crit system, it kind of allows you to just get into the game even more. It wasn't just bonus damage, but it actually has specific in-game effects, which was just a great addition to the game. This game has me excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fan of the XCOM games. I've put lots of hours into those, and the fact that this is Grey Knights meets XCOM, sign me up for more. All about it. The character customization within the game looks great. The enemies look really cool. The Bloom opens up a whole wide world of baddies we could be fighting. I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that we see more than Chaos Cultists and Plague Marines. Again, we saw the Hellbrute. We could see Chaos Demons, and that from the Nurgle side of the house, which opens up an entirely new set of models and stuff to fight against. And there's a ton of different Chaos stuff. I even think we saw Mortarion floating around in some of the screen caps. So there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of direction this game can go. Upgrading your ship seems like a long tail in pursuit too. Getting all the research unlocked, upgrading your guys, getting new weapons, getting new relics. I mean, it's just everything you want in an XCOM game, but with Grey Knights. I don't know what else to say. I'm very pumped about this game. It looks great. Gameplay looked fun and action-packed. And again, it rewards you for being aggressive but not reckless. You don't have to be quite as meticulous on your turns as you were in XCOM. You can be a little bit more, you're a Marine. Like, come on. And it looks really cool, and I'm very excited to see what this game does with itself when it releases. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demonhunters. It is out for pre-order right now, and you can pick it up. I believe the release is March 5th of 2022. If you're looking for something a bit more fantasy flavored instead of sci-fi, check out our video on Total War Warhammer 3. I'm Adam here from Bowles. Thanks for watching.